It's time once again for another thrilling episode of Markout Radio. For the next hour, sit back, pull the stick out of your ass, and enjoy. Be warned though, smarks and internet know-it-alls will be offended, annoyed, and generally pissed off at what's about to happen to your ear holes. You've been warned. Now, Markout Radio.
That's right. Welcome back. Another episode of Markout Radio Goes Nitro, episode 18, January 1st, 1996, out of the Omni in Atlanta, GA. Hosted by Eric Bischoff, Bobby the Brain Heenan, and Steve Mongo McMichael. Dark matches for you this week. Bobby Walker defeats Buddy Lee Parker. Who? That's right. Bobby Walker defeats Buddy Lee Parker. Joey Meggs with Teddy Long defeats Disco Inferno. Johnny B. Bad defeats Diamond Dallas Page to retain the WCW World Television Championship in a dark match. Welcome to 96. Jesus Christ. Show kicks off with a countdown in the background by the live crowd in the quote-unquote hometown of Nitro. Hogan is off suspension and apparently he is now the number one contender. Not sure why Savage or Luger aren't the number one contenders, but this is the 90s and it is wrestling. I mean, yeah, I guess you could throw Sting in there too. What the fuck? Anyways, the Hogan cosplayer is back, but he will not be facing the hard cam this week. I know you're disappointed. I understand. I hear you. All right. The show kicks off really fast with your very first match shot out of a cannon. Pretty good one, actually. Randy Savage defeats Arn Anderson in 6:55. I gave it 3 out of 5. Apparently, even the Horsemen shouldn't be proud of how Flair won the title, according to Bischoff. Are you new? Half of Flair's title runs were started with Horseman interference. Bischoff quips that the Smoking Guns won their match over on Raw. McMichael doesn't want to talk about the Mickey Mouse League, but remember, we're not at war yet. But good news. Good news. I mean, it's coming. There it is. Thank you. We will be at war in May of this year. War against ourselves? War? Yeah, whatever the fuck. Anyways, Heenan claims that Anderson can break every bone in a chicken leg and never touch the skin. What the fuck does that even mean? I don't even know what that means, but I marked out for it.
You are a big mark.
That's right. Now, apparently WCW this week stands for World Commitment Wrestling. Again, this comes from Bischoff. Post-match run-in by the Horsemen. Savage got out of dodge before they could lay a hand on him, though. Not much in the way of storyline with this match, but the wrestling was really good, and the crowd psychology was pretty excellent. Afterwards, Lord Steven Regal with Jeeves defeats Chris Benoit in 5 minutes, 42 seconds. I gave that one 3 out of 5. For some strange reason, there was zero anything happening after the Anderson match, but after the Benoit match we're about to have here, we'll have a little promo. McMichael claims that Canada will secede from Great Britain. I mean, I get it. He's a tackling dummy, third stringer. I'm not really expecting him to understand how geopolitics works. I'm not even going to throw the American thing in there, although you Americans could really stand to learn about other countries, by the way. But even in 96, Canada wasn't part of the UK anymore. I mean, that changed in 1982. The Commonwealth is a marketplace, and it's secede from Great Britain, not succeed. You fuck. I get it. There's an S and a D in there. There's a C that gets pronounced like an S, and there's a couple of E's. It's all very confusing. It's all really over your head, frankly, and you should just stick to being hit. Regal headbutts Benoit 3 times, then Benoit sweeps his legs and drives his head into Regal's about a dozen times or so. Fucking Hank Aaron is at ringside. I will admit, I marked out a little bit. I mean, whatever. I'll own it. I don't care. I marked out for a baseball player. Fucking sue me. Benoit delivers a sick pile driver to Regal, then misses a crossbody over the top rope to the outside. Remember, it's still illegal to throw someone over the top rope, but if you leap over to yourself, you're good. Regal gets the pin while underneath the bottom rope. Jesus. I mean, it was a great match. I mean, except for the fucky ending, it was a great match. I understand that you can't always be in a good position, but I mean, the ref could have called them away from the ropes, and Regal could have done something else, or he could have, I don't know, gone to the side of Benoit that wouldn't put him underneath the ropes. I mean, if you go to the length to not get disqualified by throwing someone over the top ropes, you think you would go to the lengths of making sure that you aren't going to fuck up the finish by being... And it wasn't as though like, oh, maybe his foot's underneath the rope. It's okay. No, his whole fucking hips and ass were underneath the bottom. Like, he was hanging off of the fucking ring apron underneath the rope. I don't know how... the bottom rope's in my face while I'm counting. I better make sure my arm doesn't hit it as I come down to put this over. All right. Post-match, there's a Four Horsemen promo. Pillman reads Benoit and Anderson the riot act for losing their matches. Anderson and Benoit tell him off, and then Gene cuts off Pillman's response as Sullivan and the Zodiac come out. Giant pulls them back before they can get into the ring. Saturday night promo, Horsemen main event. Horsemen, Anderson and Pillman versus the American Males. No, don't. Motherfucker, I swear to God, if we get pulled, turn it down. Turn it. See? That hurts, doesn't it? Thank you. Turn it down. Jesus. Fuck. After that, Luger and Sting defeat the Super Assassins. Super Assassin 1 and Super Assassin 2. Those are their names. With Colonel Robert Lee Parker. In 5 minutes, 52 seconds, this one I gave 3.5 out of 5. Now, hold on. I'll tell you all about the Super Assassins in a second. Just calm your tits. Let's first address the elephant in the room. We're talking about beef again. Both Bischoff and Heenan are talking about all the beef coming down to the ring. Listen, calling someone a beefcake, despite the beefer being in your fed, is not something that dudes do to other dudes unless the dudes in question like other dudes. I'm just going to leave that there. I understand that hindsight's 2020 and it's been a couple of years, but he continues to call it beef, so Jesus fucking Christ. All right, anyways, the Super Assassins. Super Assassin 1, well, you know, they're interchangeable because they got the same fucking mask on, but for the sake of explaining to you who these people are, let's just pretend for a second, all right? Just calm down. Super Assassin 1, the Barbarian. Super Assassin 2, Warlord. Now you can tell who is who by their boots because they're still wearing their WWF boots. Anyways, these guys were released by the WWF in early 95. They were picked up by WCW in late 95. They'd really been mostly on Saturday night or on, like, you know, your pre-taped shows, your Sundays and your Wednesday shows, things like that happen on TV. Now, Warlord would later retire in 96 due to injuries that he kept sustaining. Now, he does wrestle now, so it's not like the the retirement lasted forever, which, by the way, for wrestling never does. Spoiler alert. But he retired in 96 due to these injuries and was replaced by Ming, and then they became, no masks, the Faces of Fear, which was a half-decent mid-card team. So we've got something to look forward to here. I mean, don't get me wrong, the birth of the NWO is coming up later on this year, but for mid-card teams, it's good to have some people to feed Hall and Nash, okay? So just chill out. During this match, Craig Pitbull Pittman comes out to ask McMichael to be his manager now, so he's basically scraping the bottom of the barrel, because as I've covered, this is a fucking tackling dummy. I don't know what the fuck he's going to do to help your career out. Luger caught by the camera telling the ref to stop me in the corner, for the ref to actually step in and institute the fucking 4 count. Anyways, this happened just before the Torture Rack / Scorpion Deathlock double tap out finisher. Again, excellent match. I mean, 3.5 out of 5. Nothing to fucking thumb your nose at. It was an excellent match with the addition of some storyline building between Luger and Sting that the announce team actually did a very good job of putting over. So props to them. I know. Mean Gene rant promo putting over the Braves in the Olympics before Hart and Giant come out. Gene reminds us that the Giant is kayfabe, the son of Andre. They've given the Giant that fluffy hairdo again to put this over, and while the Giant screams into the microphone incomprehensibly, we recap Hogan's suspension-causing incident. Hogan defeats Flair in the next match via disqualification. Again, you've got this new champion. You had Savage, who won a single fucking match on television while holding the fucking belt. Now you've got Flair, who, to their credit at least, is giving him W's on Saturday night, but he's winning via DQ tonight. At least the DQ isn't fucky. All right, so we'll get there. All right. The match itself, 7 minutes, 55 seconds. I gave it 3 out of 5. Another decent match for the night. Holy shit. Hogan absolutely is on the fucking juice again. His leathery skin looks like it's just stretched over the muscle. I will give you this. I know that I fucking come down on Hogan a lot on this show. I'm not going to apologize for that, but I understand that I do, and I embrace that. But he does look every part the champion. I mean, if you had a company and you needed to make sure that you were making money week in and week out, you would put the strap on a guy that looks like him. You just would. I mean, come on. I'm not a big fan, but like
Hogan hours sucked.
Yes, thank you, Big T. I know. I understand. You're not wrong, but like,
were you ever touched as a kid?
No, but like, I just think that it's. Listen, if you're gonna have a packaged guy, especially when you put a guy like Flair in the ring with him, it literally looks like Hogan's wrestling a guy with dad bod, and it sucks because I love Flair, but every now and then even I've got to call a spade. All right. Hogan did his stupid little twitch thing on the mat, which of course Sullivan mocks him for doing on a regular basis, but he's still doing it. And he legitimately bench presses the fuck out of Flair to get out of a pin, and of course hulks up a little bit. Now, Hogan eventually gets his hands on Hart to a big pop, and then gets an even bigger pop, no-selling Anderson, nailing him with a foreign object. A DQ actually gets called when Hogan gets his hands on this foreign object. So, of course, the ref disqualifies Hogan, which I guess is a smart way to do it this time. I'll give this one a pass because, let's be honest, there's not much you're going to be able to do here except have the Horsemen come out and get Flair disqualified. But if you need Hogan to get the W, then I suppose you have Hogan be the one that gets disqualified. And yet still in the record books, it shows that Hogan beat Flair in this. So it would make sense that if Flair gets disqualified, that's why Hogan gets the W. In the history books, it says that Hogan gets the W, except that when you watch the fucking show, Hogan's the one that gets disqualified by the ref because he grabs the foreign object from Anderson. And by the way, when you go back and watch a show, enjoy him fishing around in fucking Anderson's tights for that foreign object, by the way. It's just that tape thing around the wrist again, or around the knuckles again. All right, post-match, the Horsemen all come running in, begging not to get hit with a ball of tape as Hogan and Macho turn the table at some point here. Jesus, that's bad. So you've got 4 horsemen all on their knees trying not to get hit with the wounded or the foreign object that was next to Anderson's dick just moments ago. I understand. Now, Giant comes into the ring with a stool from a bar, and Macho stops that shot. Hogan blasts Giant with the foreign object, and Giant spills over the ropes. Zodiac comes to make sure Giant doesn't go back into the ring again, pushing him back up the entrance ramp, screaming things like no and hurt while looking directly into the motherfucking camera. I mean, if you've got to earn a payday, that is probably the most beefer way to earn a payday. After the break, an in-ring promo with Mean Gene, Hogan, and Macho. They are going to make sure they have some knucks with themselves. You know, as the faces, you make sure you bring weapons with you. Duh. So what you gonna do, brother? Now, back to the announce team to wrap things up for this week, where Bischoff puts himself over as the number 1 wrestling show. Well, except for this week, where they were number 2. Raw got a 2.6, Nitro got a 2.5. Next week wasn't going to be much better either. Not going to tell you what that is yet, but that doesn't stop McMichael from piling on here. Now, remember, we're not at war yet. That's still 5 months away. Well, at least according to Bischoff's stupid podcast and his books. Anyways, there are 6,000 people in attendance with 3,619 actually paying to be there. Still a very good Nitro. One of the best ones yet, earning a 3.5 out of 5 out of the Markout Radio charts for whatever the fuck that is worth to you.
Well, that was an abortion of a show. Should the mood take you, check out markoutradio.com and leave a comment. You can also find links there to our Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Stitcher channels. You can even leave a voicemail on our Skype. Just click the links and share them.